Shayura's Wrath is a new submachine gun added to Destiny 2 as part of Season of the Splicer. Well, today I'm going to look at the stats, the perks, the god rolls to chase, the lore, plus how to get the weapon in Destiny 2. Well, if you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. So Shayura's Wrath is a legendary energy submachine gun with a precision frame, meaning this weapon's recoil pattern is much more predictably vertical. Looking at the stats, we've got 25 for impact, 63 for range, 50 for stability, 34 for handling, 32 for reload speed. It's a 600 rounds per minute submachine gun with 27 in the magazine. Well, next up, let's have a look at Shayura's Wrath perks. So for PvP, Killing Wind and Snapshot Sights would be really good, or maybe even Killing Wind and Celerity would be a decent role given Celerity's rework this season. For PvE, Dynamic Sway Reduction and Adrenaline Junkie would be good, or maybe Tunnel Vision and Kill Clip. I think either of those would be a really good role for PvE. Well, next up, let's have a look at how to get Shayura's Wrath. So to get this one, you're going to need to run some Trials of Osiris. So the loot rotates in trials each week, and be sure to check out the video I put out every Friday to check whether loot is available, and be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss trials loot. So at the time of making this guide, Shayura's Wrath is a 3-win reward, meaning you can get this weapon pretty easily by going into trials and getting to 3 wins, or by completing the trials bounty and getting that trials engram. So if you don't like Trials of Osiris, then the Trials Engram is a really good way to build up a collection of Trials loot each week. Simply pick up the weekly Trials bounty from Saint 14 and a passage, and then head into Trials of Osiris. So if you don't have any clanmates or friends who like Trials, then try out Bungie's companion app or an LFG website like Destiny Tracker. So Trials of Osiris isn't for everyone, but this is a great submachine gun that you definitely should be prioritising. So given it's available in the 3-win slot this weekend, I would go out there and get as many rolls as possible. So it's only going to take an hour or so to get that Trials engram done, and hopefully there'll be a good roll in there for you. Well, that is it about the stats and the perks and how to get the weapon, but next up, let's have a look at the Shayura's Wrath lore, and there's always some really interesting stories buried deep in the lore. So we've got Shayura's Wrath lore, but here you are, this is truly a beginning. And that one's from Shin Malfur. So we've got NS66CE Log C Venus L2 Geosync. So a powerless warsat drifts lifelessly through the void of space, traversing the brilliant yellow-green silhouette of Venus. From the dimly lit cockpit of an NS66 Cloud errant jump ship in a geosynchronous orbit, Venus looks like an unblinking eye staring up from the dark of space, and the warsat an unwelcome grain of sand within it. A ghost, reduced to little more than a bare sphere of metal, deprived of a shell, hovers in the corner of the cockpit, watching the warsat track its path across lonely Venus. There are no sanctioned Vanguard operations on Venus at present, the ghost clarifies, pivoting its cold blue eyes up to its guardian. Why do you think he's down there? The warlock Shayura reclines in her seat, the old leather creaking, her attention not on the ghost, but rather on the human skull sitting in the middle of her command console. Its hollow eye sockets stare back at her. It hardly matters why he's there, Shayura indicates listlessly as she examines the skull's cheekbones. Her fingers graze the micro-fractures, an artifact of a shotgun pellet impact. All that matters is we find him. Shayura's ghost looks away from her and focuses on Venus's soft glow in the dark. When will you be returning to Earth, he asks. Shayura doesn't vocalise a response, but instead blinks and reorients her glowing eyes stared on the ghost. It beeps softly, reconsidering the question. Will you? The ghost still wonders. No, Shayura answers flatly. There's nothing to go back to. Everyone has either abandoned me or betrayed me. All I have left is the traveller, and I do not need to be in the city to feel the light. As she says that, Shayura lifts her hands and calls on a rolling curtain of flame from her palm. Praxic fire guides me, Shayura says with the blaze reflecting in her eyes. NS66C Log D Venus-IS-IA. You see? Still protected. Valuable. Hurrying up a shallow set of rubble-strewn steps, a short elixir bearing a crest of the house light pauses, gazing back at the chrome-armoured guardian moving up the steps behind him. The Elixni looks at the Guardian up and down, then motions to the stark silhouette of a grey concrete block building rising up from the Venusian overgrowth. This ain't the Academy proper, the Guardian says in assent, watching the hazy sky from the signs of danger. Moisture clings in glistening beads to his reflective mask. His dark hood shields him from the rest of the elements. The hell was this place? The Elixni tilts its head to the side, 4 eyes blinking independently from one another. Not human. Don't know. But machine inside. Why aren't your people bringing it back? Don't you folks get promotions for finding good salvage or something? The Guardian asks, gesturing to the crumbling building. The Elixni once again tilts its head, expression opaque. You listen to the spider's sneak words too eagerly. Come, we have a long walk to... And the Elixni's words are cut off, garbled in a wet scream as he's perforated by a barrage of submachine gun fire. The Guardian turns, cloak swirled behind him and hand cannon at the ready. But it isn't Vex or Fallen descending from the high cliffs. It's a Guardian in black and gold armour, gilded to the ground, smoke issuing from the muzzle of her SMG. Shayura's boots lightly touch the leaf-strewn plaza, her eyeless mask fixed on the chrome-clad hunter. He wasn't a combatant, the hunter shouts. And Shayura slowly approaches the Guardian. Did you find him within the hem of Eramis's skirt, or did you swear yourself to the darkness after her passing? The hunter backs away up the stairs, hand cannon trained on Shayura. He recognises her armour for what it is, a reward of the trials. I know you. His voice quavers. You shouldn't be here. When did the Vanguard let you out? They didn't. I let myself out since they were too busy opening the gates of our enemies, Shayura indicates, motioning with the barrel of her SMG to the dead Elixni. But you know why I'm here. I know you're a few rounds short of a clip, the Guardian quips back, making a flippant gesture with his hand cannon. In that moment of distraction, Shayura shoots him 6 times with 2 short bursts. The Guardian collapses, his gun tumbled down the steps. A moment later, his ghost materialises, shell flared in anger. What are you doing? And Shayura moves like a lightning bolt, materialised beside the ghost with an upward flourish of a sword in a raw praxic fire, and the ghost looses a howling scream of horror as he shatters into a flurry of glistening pieces. Crumpled on the stairs, the hunter coughs, his throat damp with blood. Shayura pulls her attention away from the shattered ghost, training her SMG down at her quarry. Traitor, she says in a shaky, gasping breath fueled by adrenaline. The hunter laughs, gagging on his own blood as he does. You know better than the dredging, he says in pain. Then even quieter, or Malfur. I killed an agent of the darkness, Shayura says, and the hunter has no rebuttal this time. He's still. Bile rises in the back of Shayura's throat. They come in many forms. Well, really interesting stuff there. You've got Guardians killing Guardians, and there's clearly some people in the last city not happy with what's going on, and the fact that the Vanguard have let the Elixni in. You've got Guardians here going rogue, killing other Guardians. Well, really interesting stuff. And could this be a foreshadowing of a civil war to come in the last city? Well, let me know down in the comments what you think of the new submachine gun, and that is it for this guide for how to get Shayura's Wrath in Destiny 2. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. See you soon.